Q&A, non-football related. This one could be 1 hour video because it's a super interesting topic that actually delves really deep into a vital life question when you're at a crossroads. And I think it's super interesting, but the rule is 5 minutes. And again, if you want to go much deeper than this, we'll talk about it by email, or you can join my mentorship program. So Himanshu Sharma says, according to you, what should a person do to handle two of his or her interests, one being watching and analyzing football and the other studying and building a career in a different field altogether? What would you have done to devote proper time to both of them? Okay, so given that we only have 5 minutes to tackle this question, I want to give you the best possible answer that's not mainstream and not too cliche or something you've already heard before. And one of the common things that you hear with relation to this question is follow your dreams, pursue your dreams, life is short, blah, blah, blah. Got it. It's not very actionable advice and tangible advice you can take and actually implement. It's just kind of pie in the sky, and it relies on motivation, how you're feeling from day to day. And that feeling can really just pass from day to day, and you can't really act on it tangibly. So let me give you some actual tangible advice. There is a fine balance between pursuing your dreams and, on the other hand, being realistic and not delusional about what you're supposed to do in your life. So I will tell you the kind of the crossroads that I was at with regards to this question. I was in university and I was studying psychology, and I wanted to be a child psychologist because it was super interesting to me to contribute to society in a way that, you know, helps people at the grassroots level, right? You know, like I was very passionate about educating our children and bringing a spiritual component to it as well. And I'm actually super interested in that, super passionate about it. But as a career, and at that given moment when I was studying university, I realized that it wasn't enough to just have a psych degree. I needed to do a master's, I needed to do a PhD. That was like about 10 years more of school on top of where I already was. And I was never good at school. That's the honest truth. I'm not good at school. I'm not an academic person. I'm someone that is super interested and curious about the world. I like to read, I like to learn, but I'm not good at putting pen to paper on a test, absorbing a lot of knowledge in memory and then applying it. I'm not good at that stuff. And at the same time, while I was doing my psych degree, I found myself more than studying or actually delving into this stuff. I was actually watching football. I was skipping classes. Not something I recommend, but something I was doing, and I'm being honest with you. I was skipping classes, or I would revolve my entire academic life around Champions League games and watching football, going to bars, chatting about it with my friends. That's where I was. And I realized, like, look, I could be miserable studying this stuff for the rest of my life, or I can just take a leap and see what happens with regards to football. Now, I was blessed that I realized that in my mid-20s. I think it's a lot more difficult to realize this at the age of 30, 35, 40, right? I'm not saying it's too late at that point, but I'm saying really reflect on where you are in your life when you decide to take a leap and do this. So I will say, like, your question, Himanshu, is also, you're talking about you're actually really interested in pursuing a career that you're pursuing, but you're also interested in football and you want to do both perhaps, or figure out how to choose one or the other if you really like both. I would say there's no real cardinal rule, but, you know, apart from considering all of your financial situation, making sure you can pay the bills, you need to also devote time to both, which is very challenging. I found, like, the most successful periods in my life, in different aspects of my life, whether it be fitness, whether it be business, whether it be writing, I had to immerse myself in those things full throttle to succeed in them. Otherwise, I'm spreading myself thin. I have a lot of different eggs in different baskets, which is not a bad idea. But I think that comes a little bit later in life when you've established yourself really good in something, right? So it's a lot easier to maintain your fitness after you've immersed yourself 6 months to a year of really strict discipline, dieting and exercise. You can then maintain it. Then you can kind of immerse yourself in something else while maintaining your fitness. But if you're starting out doing 10 different things, it's very difficult to do. So if you're going to pursue studying football and writing about it, for example, while you pursue your career, whether it's law or medicine, and to be honest, if you're pursuing either of those careers, it's going to be really hard to focus on football. But let's say you have the ability to do both. what I would say is that figure out how to unlock and get more energy, because you're going to be in a situation where you need to have time and energy after your studies to come home and do the football thing. So what happens in most cases in these situations is that people can't keep up. They come home, they're tired. It's a lot easier mentally to turn on video games and Netflix rather than devote yourself to pursuing a dream when you come home, because you just don't have the mental energy. It doesn't take mental energy to turn on stimulus like Netflix or whatever, but it takes a lot of mental energy to do something you love. And the problem is, if you only have a limited amount of time to do it, you're only going to get so far. That's the honest truth. I'm being really real with you here. I love the concept of pursuing your dreams, but I don't love the way it's framed in society, and that, put everything aside, pursue it, because you also have to be very logical and smart about it. This is not just emotions. This is not just, Instagram motivational memes and stuff. It's, this is real life. So you really have to think long and hard about where you are. And the honest truth is, a lot of people who do become journalists realize it's not as fun as it seems. What you see on people's, whether it's social media or the articles they write, you see the very, very surface layer of the iceberg, which is like you put out all this cool work, all this content. And behind the scenes, it's a lot of editing. It's a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of bloodshot eyes. That's why I have blue light glasses now, because my eyes are fried and destroyed because I look at screens so much. It's a lot of just saying no to friends, because you can't really go to a bar to watch the game anymore. You actually have to take notes with your laptop. So it's a different dynamic. So really think long and hard about whether you want to be a journalist or not, because it's actually not that lucrative. And in order for it to be lucrative, you can't get a generic job, because if you're getting a generic job, it's probably meaning you're not doing what you love anyway. You're writing generic articles that your boss tells you to write, or B, it's not going to be lucrative. So in order to actually make money as a journalist, these days especially, you have to build a business, you have to build a brand. That's what my entire mentorship program basically is like teaching you how to do that, how to generate money, because you can't rely on being hired by a paper in this volatile industry. And even like the ones who make it, whether it's ESPN or The Athletic, those jobs can evaporate. We've seen some of the greatest writers that I've ever seen, that are my role models. Their jobs just get evaporated because the industry is volatile. So you need to work on a brand, you need to build yourself. So what I would suggest is make sure, if you're going to branch off your career and get into football analysis, that you do it in a way that's fun. If it's not fun, you're toast, okay? So make sure it's fun. In my case, what was fun, it was creating a podcast that it's like going to a bar with your friends. That's it. That's what's fun for me, and that's why this will never really be difficult for me. It will be difficult in moments, sure. I've discussed that in previous videos, but it's never truly difficult because I'm super excited to do it, right? If my career was working for somebody else that tells me to write a few words about some kind of transfer, I just wouldn't enjoy it. I would rather go and do business or something else. So make sure your project is fun, and I'm not going to tell you what that fun project is, because I can't tell you what's fun for you. I told you what's fun for me. Beyond that, you need to figure that out for yourself. Okay. So I don't even want to look at the time. I'm sure it's way over 5 minutes, but if you want to dive much deeper into the subject with me, I will put a link to a consultation form you can fill out in the comments of this video, and actually in the caption of this video, where you can click on, fill out the form, and we can set up one-on-one, and we'll see if it's a good fit. All right. Signing off. Take care.